when Vince left, you know, they took that damn whiteboard in that creative room and wiped it all clean. And we're starting with what we got. That's what we're starting from, and we're going to build from. And they have done a great job in doing that. So, and I think it's going to continue too. But we're all waiting for Roman to get back. I'm waiting for him to get back.
The only last thing we got to mention from Money in the Bank was the main event, Solo Sikoa pinning Cody Rhodes in the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Why not?
I just didn't like the finish. I didn't like the way it ended. I just didn't like it.
I think it was a flat finish to the show overall. I think if you did the same matchup but it doesn't close the show, I think that it would have worked better, especially for the live crowd. I thought it was the right finish to have Solo beat Cody, because if they're setting up Solo versus Cody for SummerSlam, he needed to get that pinfall victory on the WWE champion. But I think it was match placement more than anything that made it a flat finish.
How long did Cody lay there after the count?
It was a while, because the referee did 2 bumps before the finish of the matchup.
Well, I think that match needed something else because it didn't leave that crowd buzzing. I think that was a down note on that match. And they worked their asses off. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for the fans watching it, I mean, and they had seen some really, really good matches up to that. So I think that was a downer for them, and they didn't. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I wouldn't. If you had to rate that match 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Maybe like a 6.5, 7 at best.
No, I wouldn't go over a 6.
That's fair.
Wait a minute. Are we doing that Dave Meltzer
language?
No, you said 1 through 10. That's definitely, he does stars. He does.
Oh, okay.
Well, he does over 5 stars, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I like the result. I just didn't like the match placement of that matchup. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Jacob Fatu's performance in the match? Because I thought he was the MVP of the matchup. He looked great. The no-sell of the DDT in his first spot. Well, he sold it a little bit and then got up, popped up, and Orton's reaction was great to it. And I like the fact that he played the enforcer role, whereas Solo kind of switched up his style and worked more of a Roman Reigns style in the matchup.
Oh, the match was okay. I'm not saying that. Those guys worked their asses off. You know, I'm just thinking about what the people are left with. And they're left with an image in my head is Cody just laid there like a shot squirrel and never moved, like he's there. But that's because he's professional and he knows he's got to sell that. So if you're going to sell it that long, you need to have the damn stretcher come in and cart your ass out. If you're going to lay there that long, I mean that's thinking after the fact. But I don't. It's like anything else, though. You know, they got this wasn't the right thing. They will do something to heat it up and crank it up, and we're all waiting for one thing. What is that?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, and they could have damn jumped through the roof. It already got a hell of a reaction, but we're waiting for Roman to come back. What a spot to be in. And now, remember, and I keep going back to this, 18 months ago, their bench was almost in, you couldn't see it. Their bench was like nothing. When you think of somebody for Roman, you couldn't think of anybody except Drew McIntyre, and they tried that and that didn't work. But now they got the names. They got everybody that's, even some of the guys who not even close to main event. With a little work, you could get them there and get them ready to go. So, and that's because when Vince left, you know, they took that damn whiteboard in that creative room and wiped it all clean. And we're starting with what we got. That's what we're starting from, and we're going to build from. And they have done a great job in doing that. So, and I think it's going to continue too. But we're all waiting for Roman to get back. I'm waiting for him to get back.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
I want to see what they do with it. See, I watch it more from a booking standpoint, and they're leaving. I mean, they're taking everything that means anything and putting a little emphasis on it. Because the fans, I think Triple H talks like me, the fans don't forget. So if you do something that doesn't fit in, and you've done this 100 times, I've heard you do this, you say, that didn't fit, that don't even follow the story. And you're right, because it doesn't. Sometimes that happens. But I think they've done a great job, and I can't commend them enough.
Well, we got one thing to touch on from the AEW world that we came off 2 weeks ago was the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which saw Mercedes Moné defeating Stephanie Vaquer to become the AEW TBS champion, as well as NJPW Strong Women's champion, double champion Moné.
How many titles they got?
Well, they only have certain AEW ones. She won the New Japan title. She won New Japan's Women's Championship. But yeah, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, coming in, a huge babyface reaction for her. And the reaction to Mercedes during the matchup made her make a switch where she is now a heel. But leading into Forbidden Door, she revealed that she has some creative control in her contract for AEW. So the powers that be at Sportskeeda wanted me to ask Dutch, what do you think about Mercedes having creative control of her character in AEW?
Well, let's see where she goes with it. I'm not against that, but I'm not for it either. Because I don't think this girl, how long has she been wrestling? How long has she been working?
About 12, 13 years now. 12 or 13 years now.
Booking is so different than working, and some people just cannot book themselves. They just can't do it because they get heat with it to start off with, especially when they go over, and a lot of opponents take that personally. Yeah. And that's not a way to act in the dressing room. So I don't know if she has the experience or who's helping her, but I've never liked anybody having creative control because, sometimes that creative control turns into, not hurting yourself or going over sometimes, and it doesn't call for that. But we'll see. And she asked for creative control, correct?
Probably there was a part of the negotiation for her contract.
Well, and if I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't have agreed to it. I really wouldn't. I don't think she adds that much to it anyway. See, I think they got WWE had no girls 18 months ago, and look at what they got now. If they're going to try to build that girls division, female division on Mercedes Moné, I got news for them. I don't think it's going to go. I really don't. She needs opponents. She needs characters. She needs a story. So unless they can tell a story with her and continue it, they're trying to beat the barn door down when it's locked. I don't know.
Well, I will say, as someone who watches, both companies, AEW's women's division is like light years from where it was a year ago. They have created a bunch of stars that can go against Mercedes Moné. Like I said before, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the first star that they made, just came back. She looks like she's going to be Mercedes' opponent for All In at Wembley Stadium. Willow Nightingale has come a long way, where she was elevated in the rivalry with Mercedes Moné. Timeless Toni Storm is one of the best characters in wrestling right now, one of the most entertaining for sure. So they've come a long way as far as like the stars that they got in the division, and they have a bunch of people that can work with Mercedes Moné, but we'll see how that develops with the creative control. But let's finish things off, Dutch, here, because your good friend Kevin Sullivan is not doing so well right now. So if you want to let the people know what's going on with Kevin Sullivan and any words you want to share with him.
Kevin Sullivan was like the first guy, after I got interested in wrestling a little bit, he was like one of the first guys that wasn't local where I was. He was like one of the first guys that I met. And I worked with him. And him being from Boston and I'm from down south, that's like a guy from Mars dropping in. Because I couldn't understand what he was saying, but he's always been a good guy. And what happened to Kevin was he went to Miami for a meet and greet signing. And while he was there, I think another car hit the car he was in. He had an accident. And I think it was a serious accident because they had to really work hard. They saved his leg. I think he was talking about, maybe, I may have this wrong, amputating his leg. He lost a lot of blood. But this happened back in the first week of May. Here it is, the first week in July. So he's been kind of in the hospital for 2 months. And they have a GoFundMe account set up. And some of these fans pissed me off. They said, hey, he made a lot of money and he shouldn't be needing help in hospital. Listen, hospitals are expensive. And I don't think he ever had the big runs. He didn't have that guaranteed money. But what happened was his insurance, and it was good insurance, same thing happened to me. They would tell you it's time to get out, whether you're ready or not. When your insurance coverage is up, hospitals say, well, you got to find something else. You can't stay here. But see, when people understand that, now it's not that Kevin wants help, he don't have any money, because the bills are super, super high. He can't even do signings. He can't even do anything. So I think if you can, folks, go to GoFundMe, and you can look for it, you can find it. And I think he's sitting at 30 grand right now. It just really started like Friday. Nice. And somebody contacted me and said, hey, can you advertise this on your social media? And I sure can. So Kevin, I hope you're doing better, and we're doing all we can out here to help you. And when you get better, I'm gonna give you a call and check on you. So folks, if you can help out just a little bit, it'd be highly appreciative.
Dutch, as always enjoy chatting with you. You know where to follow him. Dirty D Mantell, Dutch Mantell, with his great podcast and YouTube channel. Go over and check that out. Me at True Hill SP3, Rick at Rick Uccino, and we'll be back live this coming Friday. Smack Talk will be back following SmackDown on Friday night on Fox. So we'll see you then. For Dutch, for Rick, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3, and this has been Smack Talk.